Depending on where you are, or night, depending on where you are. I don't know where you are. Suffice it to say, hello, I'm Stephen Sashen, CEO and co-founder of XeroShoes.com. And this is our monthly Ask Me Anything, where you can ask me anything. This is a live event. And what that means is if you are watching it live, you can put your questions and comments below. I will see them over there on my screen. So when I'm looking over there, now you know why. And I will respond to them in real time, or as close as I can get, depending on how quickly they come in. If you are not watching this live, then that's okay. You can still put your questions and comments wherever you can put questions and comments, and somebody hopefully will get back to you as soon as they can. I'm just realizing I want to add another caption in case I need to do that. I will do that at a certain point. Okay, I just saw there's a thing there, and I'm going to add another interesting caption. Hold that thought. CHT, contact our customer happiness team. So there's a couple things you can do, by the way. If you have any questions about an order or something, then what I'm going to recommend is you can reach out to our customer happiness team, and I will put some information about how you can do that. If you have a recommendation or some feedback, then you can leave that. We're going to do something really fun. Wait, where is it? Where did it go? Here we go. You can leave your feedback, suggestions, requests, etc. You can do that at xeroshoes.com/feedback. And like I said, if you have anything that, wait, where did it go? I just put a thing for our customer service people, or for our customer happiness team. Oh, here we go. If you have any questions about an order, etc., you can reach out to our customer happiness team. And you can do that. They're also at support@xeroshoes.eu. Pardon me, if you're in the EU. I'll come back and I'll post those again. But for now, let's do the simple thing. You can find out more about us there. And if you, oh, by the way, pardon me one sec. Something caught in my throat. So you can ask me anything. We're going to talk about barefoot running or minimalist footwear or Xero shoes or anything else you can think of. But more importantly, many of you, if you've been on these calls before, you know I can't keep a secret. We have some new products that are launching next week. And if you ask nicely, I will give you a little hint and show you what some of them are. So just FYI. Okay, well, first question came in from Greg. Any chance of putting side zippers on boots along with the laces? Depends on the boot you're talking about. It's a conversation that's come up. But so that would be one of those things, Greg, that I would say go to here. If you have got suggestions or requests, go to xeroshoes.com/feedback and mention which product you're thinking about. We've already done that on, I don't have one here, the Mika for women, our kind of calf high boot for women. But for something like the Denver for men, we haven't talked about doing that. Or the Alpine, we haven't talked about doing that either. But the Alpine would be tricky because that's a fully waterproof boot, and to put a zipper on it would remove the waterproofness. So there's a time and a place, but I would say make a request for that, and that's how we can do that. Zenzu gave me a bunch of smiley faces. Thanks. Giovanni, do you have plans to release more children's shoe styles? Yes, we do. I can't tell you when, though, but I will tell you the challenge, and that's because, I can't keep secrets. Making shoes for kids costs pretty much the same as what it costs to make shoes for adults, because the real cost is in the labor, not the smaller amount of materials. And so, not surprisingly, people are not a big fan of paying the same amount for kid shoes as they are paying for adult shoes. That said, that's why we have our Xero Shoes Kids Buy, Sell, and Trade Facebook group. So as your kids outgrow a shoe, you can find someone else who would want to buy it from you, and conversely, you could hopefully buy something from someone that your kids are growing into. So we can have that little swappy thing going on. But it is on our to-do list, very high on our to-do list. I just don't have an ETA yet, in part because making shoes, there's always, something that comes up, and you never know when things are going to actually happen. Sometimes they happen faster than you want, not usually. Usually they take a little longer than you would like. Chris had some problems with my new HFSs. Levi's sorting it out for me. Awesome customer service. Thank you. Making things is hard. Making shoes is really hard. There's just a lot of moving parts and a lot of people involved, and manufacturing, no matter what you're making, is never 100% perfect. Don't even get me started about this thing. And so, but that's why we have our 24-month manufacturer's warranty, in addition to our 5,000 miles sole warranty for what we do. So we stand behind what we do. We just know we can't do it perfectly, which, by the way, pains me to no end. I don't take things personally. Like if you said something seemingly critical of me or tried to insult me, Either you're saying something factually inaccurate, so I don't really care, or you're saying something that probably I think too, or I've had that thought at sometimes, either literally or metaphorically. So I'm not going to disagree with you because we basically agree. But when it comes to product, I feel a tremendous sense of personal responsibility. So anytime there's any problem, it pains me. And so our goal is, of course, to make things better than anyone else, better than we imagine is possible, but we know that it's never possible to make things 100% perfectly. Multi-billion-dollar brands can't do it. We know we can't do it either, but we're going to always do our best and stand behind what we do and be helpful. Is the new Colorado one of the new shoes that you're not allowed to talk about in this? That comes from Lial. No. Sadly, we couldn't get that one done in time for this launch. Here, I'll give you the tease for one of the shoes that we're launching. So, but no, the new Colorado is not one. We just were looking at the latest version of that, and it is spectacular, but not happening for spring of 23. But here's something that is happening for spring of 23. If you have ever taken a hike and at the end of the hike wished that you could just, kick off those big, heavy, stiff, clunky hiking boots you've been wearing and you don't really want to even put them back on again. Now, you may have been wearing our Daylight Hiker, which is up there somewhere, or our Alpine, or our Excursion Fusion, our fully waterproof hiking boot. But now we have something that not fully waterproof, but potentially, as far as we can tell, the lightest technical non-waterproof hiking boot that's ever been made. This is the Excursion Fusion. Sorry, what am I saying? Jesus Christ. This is the Scrambler Mid. I just said Excursion Fusion. It was in my head. So this is what's the word? Collaboration. Holy crap. I cannot think right now. Collaboration between us and Michelin. There we go. So Michelin helped us make this sole. It has what they call their Feel Light. Man, I really can't talk today. The Fiber Light sole. So what you can't see hiding in here is a textile layer that makes this sole really, really thin, really, really flexible, really, really lightweight, and strong enough to hold on to these lugs, inspired by the mountain bike tires that Michelin uses the Fiberlight material on. Then we have a layer of our trail foam to make this give you a little smoother ride. And it may look like this sole has gotten thick. It's a fake out. It just wraps around the shoe. You still get that same great ground feel and protection that you're looking for, that combination of those two, but in something that looks super, super cool. And then it has this really abrasive resistant upper, a really high abrasion welded toe cap, welded sidewalls, a gator hook if you want to attach a gator when you need protection from the elements. Really, really comfortable thing. What's the word I'm looking for? Whatever this part is. Thing that goes around your ankle. And really freakishly lightweight. This thing, men's size 9, is like barely over 10 ounces. And Hero says, do you have the boot in other colors? Of course we do, but I didn't bring them all here because that would be too many things for me to grab. So there are other colors, and you will see them when we launch these things next week. Now, FYI, if you're not already getting our newsletter, go to xeroshoes.com/newsletter and sign up, or make sure you check back on Facebook on Thursday, because that's when we're going to be announcing the sale. And when we announce all of our sales, we have a VIP part where basically you can get a 24-hour head start, where we tell you that you can go buy these things before we announce this to over 1 million people, because we pretty much inevitably run out of certain sizes and certain colors. So if you see something you like, you definitely want to become a VIP to get that. And you're also, like we do with every product launch sale we do, going to have a chance to win a $100 or €100 Xero Shoes gift certificate. So anyway, that's the Scrambler Mid. And like I said, all these things, the things that I'm going to show you, all coming out next week. I'm not going to give you the exact date because, frankly, it's not in my head. But we are announcing just that we're doing this and giving you a chance to sign up to become a VIP to get the things that you want. We're announcing that on Thursday, and then pretty much every day until we actually launch things. So that's the Scrambler Mid. This shoe, by the way, as hiking boots go, one of the people testing this was out hiking and then just decided to do a trail run. And it's so flexible, so lightweight. They just wore it as a trail running shoe, and it can work for that purpose too. So Scrambler Mid. All right. Will it be the sale be in the UK or just the US and the US and EU? The UK until April 1st is an independent dealer, so they're not getting these shoes now. But we are going to be launching xeroshoes.co.uk under our own control, hopefully the very beginning of April, and we'll probably do something special then. But we haven't really talked about that, so I don't have a whole lot of details yet. Giovanni, thank you for starting me on my barefoot journey. Haven't worn anything but barefoot shoes since October of last year. I feel great and running is enjoyable now. I love hearing that. Thank you so much. Zenzu, I'm very excited about the new design. I'll take two. Is that a left and a right or two pairs? I would say two pairs, but that's just me. Is the Melbourne coming back? That's a great question. Yes, but again, I don't have a good time and date for when. Making a Chelsea style boot is tricky because it has a dead fit. There's no lacing. You can't, if it fits, it fits. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And you want to be able to get in and out of it easy. You want to have a sole that works. So we've been doing some redesigns on that to make it better. And so that's what's coming back. All right. So by the way, for people who don't know what Xero shoes are all about, let me just do a quick show and tell. I'm trying to figure out which shoe I want to use. I'll do this one. So first things first, the basic idea is we want to let your feet do what's natural. We want to get out of the way. We want to let your body do what it's made to do. You have a quarter of the bones and joints of your whole body in your feet and ankles. Bones and joints are meant to move. And they're meant to move properly. So the first thing is we don't squeeze your toes together. We have a wider foot-shaped toe box. Secondly, low to the ground for balance and agility. We don't elevate your heel. That messes with your posture, puts strain on your joints. We don't have a thing called toe spring, which really just means that the shoe doesn't move from this point. If there's a little curve, but it moves down when you step on it, that's not toe spring. But basically, zero drop, flat from heel to toe. So you have proper posture. Really, really flexible, really in every direction you can pretty much think of. The sole is designed to give you traction and protection, but also that ground feeling that your brain needs. You have more nerve endings in the soles of your feet than anywhere but your fingertips and lips. That's because your brain needs to know what you're stepping on and stepping in, so it knows how to effectively and enjoyably and efficiently control the rest of your body. So we give you traction and protection, plus that ground feeling your brain is looking for, and the soles of all of our shoes are backed with a 5,000-mile sole warranty. So we have, as you can see behind me, a whole line of casual and performance shoes, boots, and sandals that people use around the world. I think we're in 104 different countries now, and people do everything from taking a walk to climbing Kilimanjaro to running across Madagascar, playing Dance Dance Revolution, to just hanging out with friends. Everything you can think of. I listed just a few, but there's way, way more. So anyway, that's what we do. All right. Since no one's asked another question, I'll show you another shoe. Which one do I want to show? Which one do I want to show? Oh, I'll show you one that is one of the top requests we've been getting for ages. And that is something that you could wear at the office, something a little dressier, something a little more formal. And we've done that with the Glen. So the Glen comes in a couple different colors. Two of them have a white sole, so it makes it more dress casual. So you can wear this with a suit, or you can dress it up with a suit, dress it, I don't want to say down, dress it sideways with a pair of jeans. And you can even, I'm not sure if you can polish this to make it shiny, but it is a crazy comfortable, really lightweight Oxford style shoe. The reviews have been tremendous, has this wonderful silk lining. So this is a full grain leather shoe. This is a situation where a vegan option was not available on that Scrambler Mid, 100% vegan, but not an option for the Glen. Wait, comments. Oh, anyway, for people who are only grounded through one side of their body, grounding, I'm not sure what that means. I'm going to come back to that. And Lisa said, can we see new designs? Here we go, showing them. Actually, wait, Crindy, let me see. For people who are only grounded through one side of their body, does grounding only, I don't know what that means, because the way grounding works, your body is your body. Your body doesn't have a divider down the middle. So I don't understand what that means. If you touch any grounded object with any part of your body, your whole body becomes grounded to the extent that that's meaningful. So anyway, back to this. This is the Glen. Pardon me. I don't know what's caught in my throat. Let's see if water helps. Alrighty. So once again, if you have any questions or comments, you can leave, you can go. I just want to remind people that if you have suggestions, go to xeroshoes.com/feedback. If you need help with something, if you with an order or product or whatever, contact our customer happiness team. They are here to help. You can call, and if you send an email, the fastest thing to do is call, frankly, but emails obviously work as well. Otherwise, anyway, everything you need to know is here. All right, back to the chat to see what else has come in. Any vegan leather options coming out in the near future? The simple answer is I don't know. Here's the deal with vegan leather. It sucks. Bottom line, it doesn't have the right feel. It doesn't have the right performance characteristics. Let me change that. vegan leather for shoes. There are certain products where vegan leather, and that's a weird phrase, can work great, but many of those things say doesn't work for shoes. And so we make vegan friendly products as often as we can, but there are times where it just doesn't work the way people imagine that it does. A lot of them feel really plasticky and are very plasticky, and don't wear the same way. They'll break and fall apart, just not as durable. So we are always looking at new materials, like literally always. We have 8 people on our product team, and that's one of the things they're constantly looking at. But we just haven't found a good option. Now, here, I'll show you a new shoe that addresses that. We launched this shoe for men in the fall, and we now have for women. This is the Prio suede. Now, so this is actual suede accents on what our Prio, our best-selling performance do anything shoe. And there are some components of this where we could use a synthetic suede. But when we use those, especially in a shoe that can get wet and dry, just doesn't really work. That stuff falls apart practically. So that's an issue. But anyway, now we have the Prio suede for women, gum rubber sole, suede accents. Otherwise, it is like our Prio, so that now you have a shoe that's performance friendly, but can look great with other outfits other than performance outfits. So anyway, that was a long thing that started with vegan stuff. Slippers, pleased. All right. Well, I'm going to come back to that in a second. Zany Laney or Zany, I don't know how you say that. Sorry. Corindy, I mean, if they're only breathing through one side, yeah, I have no idea about whether you're only breathing on one side and what that does. I'm sorry. I don't have any frame of reference for that. Leal, I've just finished my second 100-miler in my beloved Colorados. Wow, I want photos. Both times my soles have been pristine at the end, but there's been a lot of chafe on the top of the foot. Do I think a thin pair of socks will help with that? Yeah, that or like some duct tape, either on the shoe or on your foot. Talk to people like Randy Kreil or any of the other ultramarathoners who've dealt with any sort of abrasion things. Probably could. I don't have experience doing that as a sprinter, but this is something that we are actually addressing with the new Colorado. So basically, if you're finding some abrasion, there's something, and you're doing an extreme thing, obviously. So there's something you can either do to help with the shoe itself, or just help with your foot. I know this is going to sound weird. I heard about a climber who had just been putting in so much stress that he just like ripped the skin off of his fingers, but still had to do another climb, and just used super glue, like 5 layers of super glue to make fake skin just to get through the next climb. Maybe there's something that you can find that will be helpful with that, but I don't have a lot of experience. So I don't have a great answer. Am I working on a pair of steel toe shoes for those who need them for work? Yes, that is the number one request we have, and we have an entire team working on that. I don't have a date. Ken asks, what's the release date for the Scrambler Mid? Everything I'm showing you now, all the new stuff, is coming out next week. And again, if you are not signed up for our newsletter, xeroshoes.com/newsletter, sign up, because that way you'll get an email on Thursday about what's happening with the product launch. Or also just check back here on Facebook or on Twitter or on YouTube. We'll be doing videos and announcing that. So next week, but you're going to want to find out sooner than when we actually launch everything. We have a VIP launch. Those people who sign up to be a VIP, they get a 1-day head start, a 24-hour head start before we email and message about 1.5 million people. And because we are most likely going to sell out of certain colors and certain sizes. So if you see something you definitely like, you want to become a VIP to make sure you can get what you want. So more news about that. Karindi, I have to wake up there. Again, Karindi, I'm sorry, I know nothing about what you're describing. So I just don't have a good answer for you, sadly. Any plans for a basketball shoe? The simple answer, yes. Although we've already got a bunch of basketball players, like literally NBA players, who are training in the Forza trainer. And we are talking to them about how we're going to develop that into something they may play in professionally. So yeah, composite option. We're probably going to do composite, not steel. That's from Xero, but we'll see. And then I was sent an email and asked to pick some colors for some future projects. Any chance we'll be talking about them soon? Maybe, and I say maybe because I don't remember which products we were doing the color selection for, so I don't have a good answer for you. I just don't know. Any plans for kids size soccer cleats? Well, there's 2 parts to that, kids and soccer cleats. And that one, this is going to sound crazy when I say it, I'm not legally allowed to say anything about that. Now, you might read into that, and if you do, knock yourself out. But I can't say anything about that at the moment. Kyle, Bodie McBoat shoe. So thank you for bringing that one up. So way back when, we had a boat shoe that we called Bodie McBoat shoe. One of the most comfortable shoes we've made. It just didn't sell really well. And so we had to pull it because we don't have all the warehouse space for just everything forever. So we are working not on that shoe per se, but something that's got a similar flavor that I think you're going to like. And I don't have a date for when it's coming out. My apologies if I mentioned something in the future and I can't tell you when. It's because we're now a decent sized company, or growing really quickly is a better way of putting it. And I just can't store all that information in my head. And I'm not organized enough to have it like on my computer somewhere where I would find it and tell you right away. So yes is the best answer, something like that. Can I do another video about trolls? Yeah, you know what? I'm going to tell you something. This will be in the next video, but I'm going to tell you now. After I made that video, a friend of mine who shares the same birthday that I have pointed something out that I had forgotten. So one of the things that people sometimes say to me is they think I looked like Gene Wilder. Well, guess who has the same birthday that I do? Gene Wilder. So we're going to talk about that. And I'll probably just do it just like that. And then I got a joke that goes with it. But another thing, a lot of people say every now and then they think I look like Mel Gibson. Well, something I had completely forgotten, I'll mention this when I do the video. When I was doing stand-up comedy and acting for a living, I went through a casting process. I had multiple callbacks to be cast as Mel Gibson's as a younger man in a flashback. And I'd forgotten that. I didn't get the part. And my joke is that I think I didn't get the part because maybe the casting director called Mel to say, yeah, we found someone for that part. Looks just like that picture of you when you were a kid. Smart, funny kid. You're going to like him. Nice, good Jewish boy who, hello, hello, hello. So, so anyway, yeah, because people do troll me, there will be another troll video. All right. So let's see. Yikes. Many things came in. Let me see what I can do. I'm going to go back up. The board and auditions of the Zell and Mesa Trail coming out next week? No, they're coming out in about 6 weeks. We had to separate those for a number of reasons. So they're coming out soon. Ignacio, any plans on making more chemical resistant shoes? I use buffalo hide dress shoes, which work very well. Again, this is a full grain leather upper. Where do I have it? We have the Denver, our full grain leather upper. There's one version that's leather, one version that's canvas. We have our Prio All Day, which is made with a slip resistant sole and a full grain leather upper. So this is one of the reasons why we do use leather and not the quote vegan leathers or make everything vegan, because there's some things where you just need that protection that you really can't get from any other kind of product at this time. Last question from Lyle. It's okay. You can have as many as you want. Any plans for a tennis squash shoe? We have professional tennis players who are in the Forza Trainer and in the 360. And we have pickleball players who just reviewed both of these shoes as well. They loved it. So I would recommend looking at either of those for squash, tennis, etc. Okay, let's see. What about more kid shoes? Yes, we are going to be doing more kid shoes. I just don't have an ETA for when and what the extent of those are, how many we're going to be doing. Let's see. BTW, by the way, I can feel the hot ground when I wear the shoes on a hot summer day. We cannot violate the laws of physics. When you step on something hot, that heat transfers into things, and that keeps transferring until wherever it goes. So one thing, look, I run around, I spend a lot of time barefoot on hot summer days, or in our Genesis sandal, or in the Z Trail sandal. And one thing you start doing, or at least you can do, is just kind of planning the way you're walking. Like if I'm going to be on a really, really hot surface, I try not to be on it for an extended period of time. I'll get on, get off, get on, get off. I mean, like if I'm doing barefoot in the Costco parking lot, I know that if I got a parking spot that's 20 spots back, that's going to be hot. So I will run so I have fewer footsteps on the hot ground, or I get onto the grass or the gravel or whatever else they have, or I go back and forth. So, the idea is how do I want to put it? What's the thought I'm going for? Don't turn off your brain just because you're wearing shoes. Nah, that's not it. You know what I mean? Basically, use your smarts to know how to address the fact that we can't violate the laws of physics. That's what I was going for. I'd like more winter-friendly shoes that aren't boots. You're going to be happy with what happens in the fall. It's the best thing I can say. Nathan, I'm entering my first triathlon and needing some road running shoes. I've been wearing barefoot shoes for about 6 years, but I've never been a runner. What would I recommend? Kind of everything. For road running, our Prio, we have people who run in the Prio. We have people who run in the HFS. We have people who run in the Forza Runner. We have people who run in some of our hiking boots. We have people who run in our sandals. We have our Speed Force. We have the Prio. So, I mean, anything. In fact, one thing you can do is for you, Nathan, go to xeroshoes.com/select. That's our shoe finder quiz, and take the quiz and see what it recommends, or give our customer happiness team a call and talk to them, and they'll give you some ideas as well. Bloodhound says, any plans for a dress shoe? Dude, you show up late, you missed the fun news. The Glen, here's our dress casual shoe. So about as dressy as we're making so far, but we've already had people who say they're wearing it as their lawyers, they wear it to court. So Oxford style, full grain leather, black to the floor. We've got one that's got black and white, so it's kind of more dress casual. Another one that's brown and white. So be on the lookout for that next week. Best road running shoes are the Genesis, Lael says, and that's our thinnest sandal that we make. Our thinnest, lightest sandal. I want to make sure that I haven't missed anything. Let me take a quick look. Sorry, pardon me really quickly. Looking. If I missed you by now, toss that in again. Didn't know that quiz existed. Yeah, we're redesigning our website to make that more visible for people. All right, I'm going to go on to our next shoe. Which one do I want to do? I'm going to do this one. So sharing the same sole. Oh, by the way, no one asked about this. Sole looks pretty thick, right? It's a fake out. It's really a cup sole. So we're just wrapping this around the upper, but it's just again, one of our like 5.5 to 6 millimeter soles. So you still get great ground feel and protection and traction, but it looks a little more normal. And in that same vein, sometimes just a casual sneaker is all you need, like a white sneaker or a black sneaker. And hey, that's the Dylan. So classic sneaker silhouette, made a little zerified. We put in some accents here, so it looks kind of like we still got our Huarache strap system with this part here and this part there. Really just super smooth lining, really breathable upper. That same kind of cup sole, so it just hugs around your foot. And this Dylan comes in all white and all black for now. Those are the first two we're releasing for both men and women. By the way, the Glen is a men's dress shoe for right now. For women, if you need something like that, that's where you can put your suggestion at xeroshoes.com/feedback. The Scrambler mid, both men and women. And by the way, vegan-friendly sneaker. So classic sneaker silhouette. This is similar to a shoe we made before called the Pacifica that had a wool upper. Crazy comfy, but again, just didn't sell as well as we needed. So we had to pull that one for now. Here we've redeveloped it, redesigned it, made it way hipper and way cooler, literally as well as figuratively. All right. I have the old version of the dress shoe. I got it on clearance. There's a thing from Ignacio. Again, I put on some old Timberlands today to see how they feel, and it feels like you're wearing boxing gloves. Never again. It's my favorite thing. I got to tell you the story. We were at a trade show in December called The Running Event. And some people from Running Insight magazine came to interview me, and I had them put on a pair of Xero shoes while we were talking. And then at the end of the interview, about 20 minutes later, I watched them as they put on their regular shoes again, and they both went, "Oh yeah, these are wrong." So this is a thing that we do now, is we watch people if they come in. By the way, we're opening a showroom in mid-April where you can come and try things on, and also find like any scratch and dent stuff that was returned for exchange or returns that's still resellable, but not, really, I mean, totally usable, just not resellable as new is the way I wanted to say it. So anyway, we're going to videotape people when they try stuff on, and then when they put their regular shoes back on again. It's going to be really fun. Okay, so again, the Dylan coming out next week with all the stuff that I'm showing you. Make sure you're getting our newsletter, xeroshoes.com/newsletter, or make sure to check back here on Thursday, wherever you're watching this, because we're going to be announcing how the sale is going to work then. All right, pardon me, hiccups. Carol says, excited for the new models, you and me both. Giovanni, looks like I'm going to be painting some cool white sneakers. Oh, sweet. If you paint them, I want to see what that looks like. That'll be really fun. All right, I got two. Wait, hold on. I've done 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I got two more that I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you one because it came up in a conversation, or it came up in a question. And so imagine, a shoe that's great for travel because it's really lightweight, packs totally flat. if you would ever take it off, that is, or a shoe that maybe you would wear if you're out camping, like at the end of the day, you just need a shoe for walking around the campsite, or the beginning of the day when you're going to go out and make some coffee, or maybe you just want to have something, like a slipper around the house, or something you'd slide into if you're going to go out to the mailbox or run a quick errand. Well, that's the Sunrise. Now, this brings up a really interesting question, because this is a microfiber. So this is a vegan suede, if you will. Great for this application, but not for a performance application. It came up before. So anyway, this is the Sunrise. You can wear it one of two ways. You can slide in, or you can just step on the heel and then wear it as a slide. It's got this gore section here, so it stretches to fit your foot. It's got our Feel True rubber on the sole. This is the lightest shoe we've ever made. The men's size 9 is like barely over 5 ounces. And the people that when we sent this to our original testers, we didn't tell them what it was. We just sent them the shoe. And then people were going, hey, I thought it was a running shoe, but I realized it's actually just a great thing just to wear around, like if I'm running errands or doing whatever. And that's what we made it for. So it's not, a fuzzy slipper kind of thing. Hold that thought for the winter, but it is just a great slipper, a great slip on, a great kind of, casual something. You're going to find 1,000 uses for this unbelievably light, really, really comfy shoe, the Sunrise. And again, coming out next week, along with everything else that I showed. So just FYI. Oh my gosh. Chris, I'd love to see the Dylan in other colors with white soles. Again, suggest that. So here's the deal. Making shoes is really, really expensive. So we can't make every possible color because we're making a lot of shoes and we're growing really fast. And we just can't make if we're going to launch like 5 new things, we can't make all the different colors that we want in all of those shoes. And we want to launch all the new things because the thing that's most important to us is getting you barefoot inspired footwear that you can wear for any occasion you can think of. And then we can expand the colors based on how things go. So we do the styles first to give people things to use, and then we can deal with the colors. So, but make that suggestion at xeroshoes.com/feedback. That's how we know what to do next. Kirsten, I want to be a tester. There's a place to apply for that, but I don't remember when or where. So just send an email to support@xeroshoes.com. For the people who are testing, basically as we're developing shoes, I'll just tell you now, if you're not a women's size 7 or a men's size 9, you probably, maybe a men's size 12 also, I'm not sure. You might not fit in that camp because we can only make one size when we're doing the development testing. And for footwear, it's been true for many, many decades. Men's 9, women's 7 are the standards because as they grade them to go up in size and down in size to figure out how to change the pattern, that's the middle of the pattern. So that's why they do that. But feel free to reach out to support@xeroshoes.com. Ask them if you can be a tester, is what I would do. My cousin, why can't I think or talk or read? My husband, this is from Larissa, would love those slippers, but he's a 10.5 and you don't always do half sizes. We're doing half sizes in this one. The only place we don't do half sizes is in our sandals. And then at size 13, 14, 15 for men. Everything else, we do half sizes for everything else. Jeff, could you use that shoe? Could I use that shoe you showed as a dress shoe? You mean this one? The dress shoe? Our dress casual shoe? Yeah, if that's what you're asking. If you think no, then you can tell us why. But we made it's an Oxford style shoe with, a matte leather finish that maybe you can shine up a little bit. I'm not totally sure. But there you go. Replying to Kristen Johnson, thank you for saying my name right. Who said, wait, did I say that? Oh, anyway. Oh, yeah, half sizes, Larissa says. Woohoo is absolutely right. Wait, pardon me. Someone just texted me about all this. Yeah. I don't know about you, but I'm getting so many spam texts right now. It is mind-blowing. But my favorite thing is, at least on the newer iPhones, the new iOS, I can click report junk. And I can delete it and report it as junk, which I just did. What is my most minimalist shoe? Our most minimalist shoe, asked Bilal. It depends on whether you want something casual or performance or dressy or anything in between. So this, arguably, the new Sunrise, I would say is our most minimalist shoe. But if you're looking for something more shoey than slippery, that would be the Speed Force right down there, which I developed with a guy who'd been at Nike for 30 years to make something barefoot friendly and highly performant. So I'm a competitive sprinter. I set a all-American time for men over 60 in an indoor track meet about a month ago. And I train in that shoe and I race in that shoe. And then after that, the lightest shoe we make after that is, I'm not sure if it's the Zelen or the I don't have the weights in front of me. So the Zelen or the Forza Runner or the HFS, they're very, very similar in terms of minimalist design, barefoot feel, and lightweight. I just don't know which is the lightest. And each one of those shoes has a slightly different purpose, if you will, or a slightly different reason for living. So the Speed Force, our lightest racing training shoe, the HFS, our most sort of kind of standard, if you will, road running shoe. The Zelen has a different design here. Wait, I'll show you. So the HFS has a typical tongue design with a U throat. The Zelen is more of a booty style design with the what holds you on in sort of a cage around the outside. And then the Forza Runner is a total sock-like booty construction. This is literally just all one piece that's made with engineered mesh. So this thing fits like a sock versus something where there's more adjustability and even more adjustability. So I hope that's useful. All righty. Oh, and I just answered your question between Zelen and HFS. Lana, howdy. Sorry I'm late. Just want to say I got a pair of HFS last month. This will be my go-to running shoe from here on out. Absolutely love them. It's what I'm wearing right now. Here's mine. So thank you for that. Okay, so I got one more new thing to show you. Let me put these away. Hold that thought. All right, so last new thing that's coming out next week. We took our Prio, which was the first performance shoe that we launched back in early 2017. So holy moly, 6 years ago. And we decided to give it a bit of an upgrade. And the way we decided to give it an upgrade is by taking it and making another basically do everything you can possibly think of shoe. This one's not laced really well, so it's not going to look as pretty as I want. But we wanted to, make the look a little more upscale and get rid of a little more weight. So here we go. Anyway, this is the Prio Neo. This is the updated version of the Prio. We're still selling the Prio, but we've got this version now with this super breathable engineered mesh upper, toe guard. We have hidden straps here, but visible straps for the heel strap. Same sole as the Prio, weighs a little less, looks cool as, oh man, I love the look of this. Comes in a bunch of other colors that are just spectacularly delightful. And great smooth lining, really very breathable upper. So Prio Neo coming out next week. Oh my gosh, a bunch of questions came in. Just found, sorry, wait, I've got to scroll. From Andrew, just found you on the Dr. Gundry podcast and bought 5 pairs of shoes, fell in love, amazing. And for baseball. Thank you. We have a bunch of pro baseball players who train on our shoes too. So thank you. One Love 714, will we ever get a mock toe leather boot? I don't know. I would submit that at xeroshoes.com/feedback and ask for that because it's not something that's on my to-do list. Bloodhound asks, what's the shoe design you're most proud of? This is like asking which of your children you like most, that one. And I've wanted to write that as a sketch. It's like, well, ma'am, you can live, but your 2 children, you have to pick one who will live and the other that one. What? You can take that one. But I didn't finish. I know. I said I'm going to kill one of your children. Yeah, I know that one. So it's like the anti-Sophie's Choice. So I have reasons that I love everything that we have done. In fact, honestly, if it doesn't make it past my I love it radar, scale, bar, whatever, we don't make it. So there's things that I don't wear. There's colors that I don't necessarily agree with. But in terms of the fundamental designs, I go back and forth. Like I'll wear one, then I wear another. And every time I switch to a different shoe, it's like, oh yeah, I forgot how much I love this one. So I don't have a favorite. I really do love them all. Do I recommend this from Bilal, a thumbs width between the longest toe and the toe box, or is that even necessary with a foot-shaped toe box? So this whole idea about how much space you need in front of your toes is part personal preference and part complete bullshit. Can't say it any other way. Here's the bullshit part. So when you have a shoe with a big, thick midsole, the way it bends like a phone book. The inside bends faster than the outside. And so this whole thing of you need space in front of your toes came from shoes that have big, thick, stiff midsoles. We don't have a big, thick, stiff midsole. Everything bends really properly. So we don't effectively shorten the shoe as you're walking or running. That said, again, it becomes personal preference. So I have my toes right up against the front edge. I kind of like it. I like the feedback that I get. It reminds me when it's time to clip my toenails, which my wife appreciates. But some people have a different opinion. Total personal preference. So thumbs width, that like half inch, that seems like overkill for me. But some people like it that way. So the best thing I can say is, order the way you think. And then that's why we do free exchanges, free domestic exchanges, because there's no way to do that perfectly because of the personal preference thing. Here's the thing about footwear sizing. I could take three people with identical feet and put them in the same shoe, and they'll have three opinions about whether it fits. There is no thing as true to size. There is no thing as perfect fit. Personal preference is 95% of it, and then geometry is the rest. Man, maybe 50-50. I don't know. Either way, personal preference plays a big, big role. The other thing is that, for like width, it's about volume, not two-dimensional width. There's no two-dimensional measurement that captures the three-dimensional reality of a shoe or your foot. So that's, what makes footwear tricky. All right, got a bunch more coming in from the name you gave me. Hey, gave away my black high-top Converse. They hurt my toes and heel, but I like them with my pants. Is there a high-top Xero you suggest to replace them? Well, the canvas version of the Denver or the leather version of the Denver is the closest thing to a high-top shoe. We don't have a high-top sneaker at the moment. The only high tops we have, the Denver, the Scrambler Mid, the Excursion Fusion, the Daylight Hiker. So I would look at those and see what you find. Zany Laney, is that how it is? Golfing. So we have a number of professional golfers who train in our shoes. We've seen videos of Rocco Mediate in our sandals, in our Genesis, and he loved training in them, he said. We have people who swear by the Prio, people who swear by the Hana, people who swear by the Mesa Trail, people who swear by the Aqua Export. The trail running shoes have more grip. The other shoes, the Hana and the Prio, have a little more slide to them. So it's a personal preference. But we've got a bunch of pro and amateur and like scratch amateur golfers who wear like almost everything we make. Do I plan to make a baseball shoe with a soccer cleat, baseball? A cleated thing is going to be pretty much the same for any sport, frankly, because it's not like if you're going to make something that's about natural movement, there's not going to be a big difference between baseball and soccer. So something we're playing with, don't have an ETA for that. But definitely, I would submit that, Andrew. Submit that at xeroshoes.com/feedback, because the more requests we get for things, the better the chance we actually make those things. Bilal, when will I release the document that details some exercises to strengthen feet? Oh, great question. I don't have a good answer for that, in part because I've got to redo that document a little bit, and in part because I'm making a video to promote it still. And in part because I've had a bunch of things going on lately where, I had COVID last week for the second time. That knocked me out for 10 days. I had some medical stuff going on back the beginning of February. I'm still, dealing with some of that. So my time has been, I haven't had as much time as I've wanted. So I haven't gotten some of the video editing done. So hopefully I'm shooting for the next 2 to 3 weeks, but I don't have a specific date. Trust me, man, you will hear about it because it's going to be really, really cool. But here's the thing. You can, how do I want to say this? A study by Dr. Sarah Ridge shows that just walking in minimalist shoes, and she used a different shoe than ours, but she says you should get the same benefits from Xero Shoes because that's what they wear in their office. Just walking in minimalist shoes builds foot strength as much as doing a foot exercise program. So while the foot exercises are fun, and I do them all the time, the most value you're going to get is walking, running, hiking, just using your feet. That will always be more than just doing a specialized exercise program. Any update on the 360s from Chris? It's been a while since my size has been available for any of the colors. I don't know when we're getting more in. Email or call our customer happiness team. They have that information because I do not store that. What's a question you want to answer but no one's ever asked? That one. Meta question. The shoe you're holding looks really nice. I don't remember which I was holding. Was it this one, the Prio Neo, which is coming out next week? It's awesome. And if it meant something else, I don't know what I was looking at. Name you gave me, you don't need to correct your grammar. It's okay. Typos. Lots of shoes. Are there any more sandals in the pipeline? Yes. We have three that I was looking at in our final line review for new products. I'll tell you about one. We've wanted to make a Huarache style trail running shoe. So take our Z Trail, which is way over there, and then make a Huarache style that has all the adjustments that you want to make that work for you. And I've actually been working on that product for 5 years. And we just cracked the code on it about 3 months ago, and just looked at a sample, and it is spectacular. So there's that. There's also some more casual sandals coming out, and some more like fashion forward sandals coming out. So happening in the works. Yes, it was the Prio Neo you were looking at. Yeah, yeah. The questions keep on coming. Andrew, just listen to Born to Run. Wow, on the audiobook. One controversial question. There's no controversial question. Caballo Blanco died from heart damage from so much running. Thoughts? Yeah. He died as a result of left ventricular hypertrophy, which is a surprisingly common thing from people who do massive, massive amounts of ultra long distance running. There are ways of dealing with it. He did not. And I'm not saying you should or shouldn't run ultras. I'm not here to say that, but it is one of those things to be attentive to, is left ventricular hypertrophy. And so that was a sad loss to our community. And there are other people I know who've had similar conditions. And this is going to sound weird. Were it not for Caballo Blanco, for Micah True having that happen, a lot of people would not have even gone to check and then find out that they were heading in that direction, if not already in that direction. So yeah, something to be attentive to. David says, are all these new releases true to size? I have no idea. I don't store that information in my head, but it doesn't make a difference, because if we're not true to size, we give you the recommendations for what to try instead. And like I said before, there is no such thing as true to size, because people have preferences about how much space they want in front of their toes, what the volume is, what kind of activities they're doing. So what we do in our sizing recommendations is we take the information we're getting from our customers and put all that together and say what we recommend is ordering your quote usual size, or higher or lower, depending on the feedback we get. We have not found a better way to do that. There are people who spent literally hundreds of millions of dollars on sizing tools that have never worked properly. And so we're constantly investigating that. But right now, I don't have that sort in my head about whether we recommend going up, down, et cetera. But you'll find that on the website. And again, that's why we do free domestic exchanges, because there's no one who's ever done this perfectly. I will tell you, though, our return and exchange rate is lower than the average for footwear companies. So we're getting there. Any plans for bike shoe? We've been playing with that idea. There are different kinds of bike shoes. There's mountain bike shoes. There's SPD clips that you do or don't need. There's flat shoes. I mean, there's a lot of different type of bike shoes. So what I would do, Jeff, go to xeroshoes.com/feedback, put in that request, and be more specific about what kind of bike and what characteristics you're looking for in a bike shoe. We've had people ride across the country in our sandals. We've had people go out on bikes in like almost every shoe that we make. But we've even had professional cyclists who had our shoes in the back of their jersey, and they would unclip, get out of their cleats, and then put on our shoes. And one of our professional cyclists said, dude, I'm putting out more watts in your shoes than I am when I'm clipped in. And I said, yeah, because you're actually engaging your foot instead of having it be just a dumb flap, which actually engages muscles further upstream. There's a thing called a guy named Pavel Tsatsouline, who brought kettlebells to America. He refers to a thing he calls irradiation. If you're doing a pull-up or a curl, you want to grip really hard, because gripping really hard sends a signal to your brain to activate more muscles that you're actually going to use. Same thing can happen when you're on a bike, FYI. Will we be getting the Aptos in stock again? Yes, I just don't have a date for that, unfortunately, because I don't store that in my head. Honestly, this is from One Love. You guys knocked it out of the park with the leather Denvers. Thanks. That shoe's been getting a tremendous amount of response. We're really happy. I'll tell you, the Scrambler mid that I showed at the beginning, if you missed it, fully technical hiking boot, weighs 10 ounces for a men's size 9. Fake out sole that actually just wraps around your foot, is not thick the way it looks. Really breathable, really durable. In the upper, and these protective materials, gator hook, crazy shoe. That thing is getting so much press starting next week. I can't wait. All right, how much more grippy is the Mesa Trail 2 compared to the Mesa Trail 1? I don't know. I don't remember what we changed, if anything, on the outsole. I think the changes were mostly on the upper, but I don't remember. So I would give customer service a call for that one, because I don't know. Name you gave me says those look great. I agree. Andrew, that's why sprinters rock. Yeah, we'll go back to that. If you haven't checked out the channel called Rose Anvil, he's been talking about Xeros and their build quality. I don't know if that's positive or negative, but anyone who talks about our build quality negatively doesn't understand statistics, because in terms of any problems we've had, our failure rate is actually lower than industry average by a long shot. And if he's saying that he likes the build quality, then I agree with him. But we've had, one of the things that happens online that's annoying is someone will have a problem. Two things. Part one, rather than calling us for help or advice or suggestions, they'll just post something and ask people who don't actually know what's going on with our company, what's going on. And the second thing is then people will often chime in and go, wow, I didn't have that problem. Yeah, they stand behind their products and say positive things, but no one ever sees those comments. They just, jump on the bandwagon. And then it looks like there's a problem where statistically, from what we know, because we sell these shoes and we deal with our customers, it's not a noticeable problem. A very small percentage of our products have problems. We stand behind them when they do with our 24-month manufacturer's warranty. But the way social media works, reality and social media are often very, very different things. Do with that what you will, but thank you for the pointer. I will jump in there and check it out. I really appreciate it. Zanny says, tank top merch. Yeah, apparel is a really interesting thing. We have watched many, many footwear brands go bankrupt once they started doing apparel. Whole different world. And it's something that we want to do more than just having some t-shirts, but you got to do it at the right time. Otherwise you are really, really causing problems for your company. So, but suggest that. So, Sam asks, when are we hearing about these new spring releases? I've only said it 1,000 times. I know you weren't here when I did. On Thursday is when we make the official announcement. If you're not already signed up for our newsletter at xeroshoes.com/newsletter, you can sign up. Do that because we'll be emailing everyone who's signed up, or check back where you're watching this now because we'll be posting videos about that. The products come out next week. You're going to want to be a VIP, which gives you a 24-hour head start to get what you want before we announce it to over 1 million people. And we are going to run out of some sizes and colors, I'm sure. Happens every time. So yeah, you definitely want to sign up for that. So hopefully that answers that. Do you have the internal measurements of that boot on the website? We don't have internal measurements of anything because there's no such thing as a real internal measurement. And what I mean by that is, how do you measure? What's the internal measurement when you can open this up fully? What's the internal measurement when you have, I don't have one, this easy thing, that's a leather shoe that molds to your foot? What's the internal measurement when you have something that stretches versus something that's got a sock-like booty construction? And more importantly, and the internal measurements are three-dimensional. The only meaningful measurement is a volumetric measurement, not a length and width and height measurement. Those do nothing. You need 3D measurements. And if you don't have a way of getting a 3D measurement of your foot in all the right places, it doesn't do any good. So that's a long way of saying, no, we don't have that, because it wouldn't be in any way useful at this time. We just sent, I'll give you a story about that. When we were at this trade show that I mentioned before, the running event, we had someone who came up to us and said, I'm a 4EE. Will your shoes fit me? And we said, maybe not. I mean, 4EE is a width measurement, a two-dimensional measurement. So we said, maybe not. He said, let me try it on. Fit him perfectly. Because while his foot was wide, it wasn't very tall. The volume was perfect. The length and height, or the width and height, would have been deceptive. So, no one has figured out the solution for this yet. It's the best thing I can say. I actually am working on something. I've got a patent pending on something, but until that's proven, I can't even talk about that. So no, we don't have that, unfortunately. Anyway, how do trekking poles affect the barefoot gait? Oh man, they're like magic. This comes from well, let me say it this way. They don't affect it at all. Using the poles has nothing to do with barefoot gait. Wait, I'm training for an ultra, plan to use the Scrambler mid, and not sure how poles, how it will affect. What they do, what poles kind of do, it's sort of like they help, if you use them right, they help with the extension part of your gait. With the, as if you think about like ice skating, what makes you move when you're ice skating is pushing back. And that's really the thing you want to do when you're walking or running too. Well, not so much running, but when you're walking, you want to think about pushing back and not reaching out with your foot. That's the biggest thing. You don't want to overstride. When you're using poles, my experience is they can help with not overstriding, because the poles are kind of catching the ground instead of reaching out with your foot. And they really help with that extension part. And if you relax your swing leg, then it can land right underneath your center of mass and you're ready to just keep moving forward again. So I love them. I would just say play with it, but pay attention. Just the most important thing, don't reach out with your foot. Just you don't have to reach out. You can relax that swing leg and let it land underneath you and push you back and move you forward. Okay, would love a slip-on sandal on the thing we're working on, or one of the things we're working on. One love. No, it's positive. Oh, it's positive. Okay, then I agree with everything he said. So, I will confess, in the early days, we had some production problems because we were working with smaller factories. And when we work with a factory, it takes us 2 years to get them to understand how to make our shoes correctly, because this is not the way they make normal shoes. Normal, typical shoes. And it takes us a while to get them out of trying to do things that we don't want them to do. So, and everything has gotten better, better, better. Every time we have a production run, things are better. And so I'm happy to hear that, because again, we have a lower failure rate than industry average by a long shot, and getting better every year. So anyway, that's awesome. Yeah. You guys keep on asking questions. Do you guys have any plans for making non-slip boots for ice? So, if you go to, wait, I'm going to put this in I'm going to throw this in as a comment. Go to, wait, better yet, I'm going to see if I can reply to you when I do this. So something for ice. How can I do this? Reply. There we go. I'm going to reply to you and say, check out the thing that I just sent you as a reply. Because the interesting thing about ice, yikes. Thank you. By the way, thank you guys. I don't know why I jumped to the conclusion that it's like, oh, it's a problem. It's it's a long story. Anyway, so the number one thing about handling ice and snow is a no-brainer. Ice is a different story. Part one, we cannot violate the laws of physics. Just the way it is. There is no material that works perfectly on icy surfaces or muddy surfaces or slick surfaces, oily surfaces. Nothing is perfect. Now, I have gotten reports from friends who live in Southern Colorado that are wearing this. This is our Prio All Day. We made this with a slip resistant sole for people who are in those situations. And this thing works great. Is it perfect? No, because again, can't violate the laws of physics. If you're landing with your foot in front of you and you're putting weight on it at an angle, that's where things get more slippery. If you land with your feet underneath you, if you look at the link that I responded to you with, you'll see people running full speed on ice, because when you're running full speed, you're landing with your foot pretty much vertically. If you just stood on ice and just did this with your foot up and down, then you wouldn't slip, because there's no horizontal force that creates that little bit of whatever the opposite of friction is that allows you to slide. And that's what makes you slippery. And even wearing this, if you put your foot too far out in front of you at the right or sideways or at some weird angle, even with a really good slip resistant sole, that's, there's nothing that's perfect, but having your feet landing underneath you is going to get you 95% of the way there. That said, we used to have a product that we offered called ice walkers that would just, snap around your foot. I loved them. And that gave you that extra traction. Unfortunately, they had production issues, like they couldn't get things made and get things over here. And so we didn't have them this season. You can try something like Yak Trax, but in terms of just making a shoe that will work perfectly, even there's a company that makes a shoe specifically for ice running. Not perfect. It's got metal beads in there. It's like all these things that basically, anyway, it doesn't work perfectly. Is all I can say, because physics is physics. Now, that said, it's a great thing to submit at xeroshoes.com/feedback as a request, because you never know. We can take a look. Too many things that came in. I gotta scroll back up. Give me a sec. Chris, are the scramblers replacing the Daylight Hiker? Nope, because this is a highly technical thing. Collab with Michelin. This was a very expensive boot to make, less expensive than anything like it, and there's really nothing like it, but definitely a higher price point than the Daylight Hiker. Do you have anything that would be good for riding motorcycles? I don't know. What characteristics do you need for riding a motorcycle? So I don't have an answer for that. I watch people in Colorado riding motorcycles in sandals, so I don't know how to answer. Give me some more info and I will help you. From Sam, just got my excursion fusions for a hiking trip on spring break. Have fun. Send pictures. Asking how wide you mean. Again, this is from Hero. Dude, I don't know how to say this differently, so I'm going to try it again. There is no width measurement that is in any way meaningful at all, because the fact that the inside of the shoe looks like it ends here, well, if you flatten it out, the shoe can extend over the sole and be perfectly fine for you. And this is true with almost any shoe we make. You can flatten it out, and then the shoe gets wider than the outsole. So if I just leave it like this and give you a measurement, that doesn't mean anything, because if you put it on, maybe your foot does that a little and it works perfectly. So there is, I swear to you, there is no two-dimensional measurement that gives you the right information for knowing whether something is going to fit, which is why people have spent hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars trying to find a better way to help you find the right fit, and none of those solutions have worked yet. That said, the question you asked is what my patent is all about, and we're testing that to see if we did find a solution, but it has nothing to do with two-dimensional measurements, is the best thing I can say. Trust me, there's nothing I wish more than to have an easy answer to the question, will this fit me? No one has solved it yet, which is why we do free domestic exchanges. So anyway, do with that what you will. Let's see. Yay. Too many things. Received my first pair of Prios, first pair of zero drop shoes. This is from Scout, and they are wonderfully comfortable and made very well. Thank you. I'll be buying the Mesa Trail 2 next. I love hearing that. Training for an ultra. I'm not training for an ultra. Oh my God, no, I would never. Dude, I don't train for the 200 meters because there's a curve involved. I don't have a GPS watch. I'd get lost. So not my thing for training for an ultra. Other people do that. Name you gave me says, thank you for something that I said. How do you become a VIP? So when we make the page about the sale live, there will be a sweepstakes app. And the first thing you can do in the sweepstakes app is sign up to be a VIP. This will all be explained when we send the email on Thursday or in the videos that I release on Thursday. Scout, what helped me sell you on your brand, or help sell me on your brand, is you as the owners out there front and center explaining your shoes. Seem very transparent and passionate about your product. Nice to see nowadays. It's very kind of you. Transparent just means I can't keep a secret. I have a very short wire between my brain and my face. And that has gotten me in trouble. Well, some people would think trouble. It has gotten me in some interesting situations very often, but that's the way this one is built. No, this is one of my favorite things to do, is to talk to people and hear what's going on, be as helpful as I can, answer questions. We are not a nameless, faceless company. We're not a tiny little mom and pop thing in our garage anymore, but we are. It's hugely important for Lena and I that as this company continues to grow, we are accessible. We are as transparent more than anyone has ever been. Look, you can find our financials if you go to xeroshoes.com/SEC, because we did a crowdfunding raise in 2017 and we have to publish our financials. There's no other private companies that do that, but we are happy to share what's going on, positive and negative. Crazy things can happen sometimes, like, trade wars and pandemics and whatnot. And we talk to people about what's going on and how we're dealing with that and how we want to help and how we need help sometimes. So I don't like nameless, faceless companies. And look, maybe I won't be the one doing this all the time, or maybe I am and it's all I do. I have no idea. But we're here. You can find anyone in our company. Our customer happiness team, there's now 20 people who are helping all of the people who have discovered Xero Shoes. We're trying to make them more efficient so they can be even more helpful. But being accessible is really, really important to us. And we can't do it perfectly. Sometimes, like during a massive sale, we suddenly get 5,000 emails from people asking questions, and that sets us behind. And then we try to deal with that the best way we can. We're trying to always improve what we're doing, and it's an ongoing process. Look. My favorite thing is when Nordstrom has their semi-annual sale, and their website crashes almost every time. And they're trying to make it so the website doesn't crash. But when a multi-billion-dollar company can't make it work perfectly, we know we can't either. But we're always trying to do the best we can, and that's the best we can do. So anyway, but thank you. That was very kind of you. I appreciate it. I thought you had ice slip-ons, and I don't know what SM spikes mean. So I think I might have been referring to that before with the ice walkers that we used to sell. But they weren't our product. We were reselling them for somebody else, and we just haven't been able to get them in. Do I have plans for a shoe with a safety toe? Yes, working on that. Don't have a date. It's our number one request. And definitely waiting for the Prio Neos, according to the name you gave me. I love this shoe. Next week. That's all you have to wait. What's for dinner? Oh, old man in the sea. You know me oh too well. Depends. This is running a little long, and so it depends on whether Lena has eaten or not. If my wife has already eaten, then I'm gonna have some cereal. I'm tired, but when I was sick last week, cereal is my favorite thing when I'm sick. So I'm not sick now, but I love cereal. So I got to finish a box. But if she hasn't had dinner, I'm going to do creamy corn pasta with basil. It's really just gourmet mac and cheese. And so here's how you do it in a nutshell. Take pasta. I'm using rotini. You can use whatever you want. Boil that. While you're doing that, take a bunch of scallions, chop them up, saute them with a little bit of water, and like take a can of corn, just canned corn, and everything but a quarter cup of that canned corn, and saute that. A little salt and pepper. Then puree that part, and then just take that, once the noodles are done, put those in a pan. Oh, take the quarter cup of corn that you didn't saute and puree, and put that in, saute that, some salt and pepper, then add the puree, let that go for just a few seconds to meld that, then put the pasta in, mix the pasta up, use some pasta water to get the right creamy consistency, then add half a cup of Parmesan cheese and a good handful of shredded basil or whatever aromatics you want, and it is divine. That's for breakfast, for dinner. So, oh my gosh. All right. Barefoot protectors out there. Wear them all day at work on concrete floors and pavement. Oh, yeah. Best foot protectors out there. Wear them all day at work on concrete floors and pavement. Thanks, Stephen. Oh, no, thank you. And it's my favorite thing when people discover that just letting your feet do what's natural is the best protection you can have for when you're on concrete and hard floors all day, every day. Where can I buy a t-shirt, Xero Shoes? Do we not have any available right now? Hold that thought. Xeroshoes.com/ wait. Let me see if I can find any. If they're on the website right now, we have run out because you might be surprised, or probably won't be surprised to know that when it's winter, we don't sell as many t-shirts. So let me see though. Oh, here we go. If you go to xeroshoes.com, wait, hold on, don't do it yet. Yeah, we do. If you go to xeroshoes.com/shop, and then scroll down, there's on the left-hand side, you'll see t-shirts. And wait, do we have any? Now I'm checking to see if we actually have any. And we do. So go take a look there. Oh, wait, I'll put a link in what we're doing. I'm going to reply to you and say, here, xeroshoes.com /gear/t-shirts. There we go. Okay, name you gave me. Makes me happy knowing more and more people are taking interest in Xero Shoes. Makes me happy too, because look, we have a very simple mission: change the world. I mean, I say that and it sounds funny, but I'm serious. We are trying to do what we can to help the tide turn from from things that look like this and are bad for you, demonstrably bad for you, to things that are good for you. And we're getting there. What's going to happen between our company and the other companies that are doing this? We're going to get a certain level of awareness. And that's when the doubters are going to go, let me give that a shot. And as many of you have discovered, the experience of letting your feet do what's natural is so profound. That's when things go from like this to like this. They just go, totally exponential. And that's what we're trying to make happen. I'm a 60-year-old man, and my line is I'm doing everything I can to change the world before I die. And I hope that it changes well before I die so I can appreciate things for a while. But it might take a while. We're working with some professional athletes and celebrities who can help make this happen. We're putting out more and more shoes that people are responding to. We're getting more and more retail accounts that are helping people discover us. Everything's moving in the right direction. So fingers crossed. All right. From Michael, thank you for all your insights. That's very kind of you. My pleasure. Daniel, using the Daylight Hacker is my daily. Super comfy. Looking forward to anything work boot. You and me both. We are working on that project. Andrew, hope you try Dr. Gundry's lectin-free approach. It's amazing. Come on, you can do 5 days. You can do it 5 days a week. I'm a simple man. I'm on the I don't know when I'm going to get hit by a bus diet. So I don't tend to overeat. I don't tend to binge on things. My diet is pretty Mediterranean-esque. I don't eat meat, not because there's anything wrong with it, because I have a genetic disorder and it just tastes like mushy metal to me. So not my thing. Yeah, I'm always up for a good experiment. So I'll have to give it a shot. David says, I hope to see Xero Shoes gym bag in the future. As accessories go, I really like that one. I'm going to have to bring that one up, and that's a little easier than apparel. So do me a favor, submit that at xeroshoes.com/feedback and check this out. That's the last question that came in. So look, I'm going to just do a couple of announcement-y things, and then we're going to, Lucchini organic extra virgin olive oil is the bomb. You know what? My thing about not tasting savory flavors, it applies with oil too. I don't handle free fatty acids very well. And oil, what it does, I'm not going to get too graphic. Let's just say accelerates the passage of things through my gastrointestinal system. So I'm really light on oil because it does not sit well with me. It's related to the genetic thing. Anyway, okay, so a couple of quick announcements really quick, redundant. First of all, thank you all for being here. As you can probably tell, I really enjoy this, even when I completely misunderstand what someone's saying to me, like the thing about, what was his name? Wait, I got to write it down because as soon as I end this call, it's going to disappear. The guy, Rose Anvil. Wait, I got to write this down really fast. Rose Anvil. Okay. This is a lot of fun for me. So thank you for being part of this. I always say this at the end of, near the end of every one of these. When Lena and I started Xero Shoes, literally on the floor of the corner of a spare bedroom, we had no idea it would become what it has now, where we have helped many people on this call and literally over 1 million people around the world discover the comfort, the benefits, and the fun about natural movement. We could not be more grateful. Lena says there's no reason to ever start another shoe company. There's enough shoe companies in the world unless your shoes change people's lives. And we literally hear from people all day, every day saying that that's what's happened once they discovered natural movement and Xero Shoes. We're happy that that's part of how they discovered it. So, you know, and that's what motivates everybody who works here. There's no one who's working here who doesn't believe in the value of what we're doing, in large part because of their own experience. Even our chief product officer, Dennis Driscoll, who has 45 years of history in the footwear industry, who had been working for Crocs and Doc Marten and Converse, and I mean, you name it. What got him working for us for pennies on the dollar when we first connected with each other was that he put on a pair of our sandals and they changed his life. So, you know, that's what gets us going. And we could not be more grateful. So that's the thank you part. The reminder part, next week, we're launching 6 new products and new colors of existing products. They're going to be for sale, but not on sale. But the 6 new products will be on sale. How much? I don't know, because that's going to depend on you guys. You'll find more about that later. So on Thursday, this coming Thursday, the 23rd, is that right? Yeah. We're going to be announcing all this, everything we're doing for our spring 23 sale. And we're going to have these 6 new products, these 6 new products. The Scrambler Mid, the perhaps lightest technical hiking boot ever. The Prio Neo, a lighter, sleeker version of our best-selling Do Everything shoe. The Sunrise, the camp slipper, errand running, casual, whatever you want to do in it, travel-friendly shoe. The Dylan, our classic casual sneaker, made Xero friendly. The Glen, a classic Oxford dress style silhouette, made Xero friendly, full grain leather upper. And last but not least, finally for women, the Prio suede, a great all around anything you can think of shoe, just a little upscaled to go with other outfits that don't, you know, where it doesn't look quite as like you just came from the gym. And so we can't wait to launch these. Can't wait to get them on your feet and see what you think. From the name you gave me, sending many blessings, much more success than you, and that you have a wonderful evening. Thank you all. So once again, it's been a total treat. If you have any questions, reach out to our customer happiness team. Suggestions, go to xeroshoes.com/feedback. And yeah, Prio Neo, I mentioned that one. And Prio Neo right there. And yeah, Prio Neo, by the way, vegan friendly, men and women. The Prio suede has already been available for men, now available for women. Dylan is also 100% vegan friendly, as is the Scrambler Mid. So, okay. Stop talking to strange people on the internet. Go finalize the Colorado 2. We're actually renaming it also, but yeah, we're working on that. Again, thank you all. Regards to your dog, Jordan says, it is the highlight of my day when I go home and I know my wife and my dog are there waiting for me. And if my wife wagged her tail the way my dog did, that'd be great. But I just give her a big long hug. We do the same, and she reciprocates. You know, I got to tell you really quick before I go. Running this business together has been the greatest thing ever. I know some couples don't handle that well. It's been wonderful for us. Not like we had any problems before we did this, but people were worried when we started a business together, and it's been the most gratifying thing I've ever done. I could not be happier. And again, all of that is just, you know, from not just us, but you guys as well. So once again, thank you. Now I'm going to get off. You guys do the same. Go out, have fun, and live life feet first.